British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Emily Deneen, and here's your news update to 12:30. According to Statistics Canada, roughly 20% of Canadians are working full-time from home as of November 2023. Our reporter Keenan Tregaskis found how these people are finding communal aspect offered at work.
Stats Canada shows that work-from-home numbers are down 20% from 2020. For those who are working from home, there are places across the Lower Mainland that offer a communal space. Once a month, a free co-worker drop-in is held at the Beta Collective offices in Burnaby. They provide quiet office space, a lounge, and a conference room for people to get all their work done. Those who are tired of the distractions at home or the noisy coffee shop are welcome to work at the office. Their doors are open on the second Thursday of every month. Keenan Tregaskis, BCIT's The Crow.
With nicer weather, wildfire season might be starting sooner than expected. The government of British Columbia says that there's 1,600 wildfires per year in the province. As of right now, data from the government shows that there's 2 wildfires that are out of control. These fires are in the northern part of the province. The government expects this number to rise drastically in the upcoming months. Southern Brazil is being hit with massive flooding, which has also so far killed over 100 people. Karen Chamas from the Associated Press explains what Brazilians are doing to keep safe.
More than 230,000 people have been displaced, and much of the region has been isolated by floodwaters. Dozens of displaced people have crowded into a warehouse in Porto Alegre for shelter from the floods. 68-year-old Heitor da Silva told the AP, "I only took my documents, 3 shirts, 2 underwear and my flip-flops. All the rest is gone." Climate scientist Álvaro da Silva says climate change is to blame.
This is what happens when we have 1.2 degrees Celsius warmer world than in pre-industrial time.
I'm Karen Chamas.
The results of North Macedonia's 2024 elections are in. Gordana Siljanovska-Davkova won the election with 65% of the vote. Macedonians are hoping that with her as their president, North Macedonia can be a part of the European Union. She celebrated her win, saying that it's a sign of shifting times. She's the first North Macedonian woman president. The United Nations is holding a discussion with Israeli and Egyptian authorities to restart fuel shipments to Gaza. This way, the UN can keep providing help and humanitarian operations to the people who need it. The UN is currently rationing their fuel. Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says hospitals will shut down if they don't get the fuel they need.
The Rafah crossing from Egypt into Gaza remains closed, which is a major access point for supplies into Gaza. Fuel that we expected to be allowed in today has not been allowed in, meaning we only have enough fuel to run health services in the south for 3 more days.
Investigators are looking into the Boeing that skidded off an airport runway in Senegal. Rita Foley from the Associated Press explains the aftermath.
10 people were injured. Passenger video shows the aircraft on fire and passengers jumping down the emergency slides as flames shot out from one side of the aircraft. In the background, people can be heard screaming. The transport minister says the Air Senegal flight operated by Transair was on the way to neighboring Mali late Wednesday with 85 people on board. Boeing referred a request for comment to the airlines. This is the 3rd incident involving a Boeing airplane this week. The company's been under a lot of pressure since a door plug blew out of a Boeing 737 MAX during an Alaska Airlines flight in January, leaving a gaping hole in the plane. I'm Rita Foley.
It's another t-shirt and shorts day with highs of 26 and lows of 10 overnight. And don't forget your sunscreen tomorrow with a high of 27. That's been your news update to 12:30. I'm Emily Deneen for BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
This is sports on 1680 The Crow.
Good afternoon, I'm Sophie Hansen, and here are your sports updates to 1240. An unexpected comeback for the Canucks. The Canucks overcame a 3-goal deficit to defeat the Edmonton Oilers 5-4 last night for Game 1 of the second-round playoff series. Dakota Joshua had a goal and 2 assists, earning him first star. Joshua says the team maintained confidence even after a rough start to the game.
Just the fact we never gave up. That was a tough start for us, but like you said, the patience, the resiliency, and to stick with it paid off tonight.
Game 2 is tomorrow night in Vancouver at 7 o'clock. In more hockey news, the Toronto Maple Leafs have fired head coach Sheldon Keefe after 5 seasons with the team. Keefe led the Leafs to 5 playoff appearances, but only managed to get past the first round once. General Manager Brad Treliving announced a decision this morning. Treliving said the organization determined a new voice was needed to push through to its ultimate goal. Management is expected to address reporters Friday, but the coaching change and other end-of-season topics. Montreal's Professional Women Hockey League opens the playoffs with a best-of-5 semifinal series against Boston tonight at Place Bell in Laval, Quebec. Montreal captain Marie-Phillips Poulet says she's thrilled to have women's playoff hockey back in Montreal.
Obviously, we're going to use that energy from our fans. It's going to be exciting. We're going to use each other. I think taking the first couple of steps on that ice, just take a look around and just realizing we're in playoff. And obviously, in a season, obviously you have a couple games where you lose and we don't have time here.
The puck drop is today at 4 o'clock. Caitlin Clark will make her WNBA home debut with the Indiana Fever tonight. The preseason opener in Dallas had fans hooked as she scored a team-high 21 points. A nearly full house of up to 17,000 fans are expected to attend. Tip-off is tonight at 4 o'clock. In more basketball news, 2 games on the NBA playoff slate tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers will face the Boston Celtics in Game 2 of the East semifinals. Boston took Game 1 at home Tuesday night. Tip-off for Game 2 is at 4 o'clock. Now MVP runner-up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will lead the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight against the Dallas Mavericks in Game 2 of their series. Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 29 points in Game 1 and will look to take a commanding 2-0 series lead at home before the series shifts to Dallas. Tip-off is tonight at 6:30 from Paycon Center. Some local sports stars are making fans proud. UBC women's soccer star Catalin Tolnay and Alberta men's volleyball captain Isaac Heslinga have been named Canada West Athletes of the Year. Tolnay, a Toronto native, was deemed the best player in the Thunderbirds soccer program, guiding the T-Birds to their 8th national title.
I think it just goes to show how great our program is at UBC and just like how hard the team has worked to get to where we are, just to be able to be recognized. I think it's just great, especially as a female athlete right now.
Both athletes have been nominated for the Lewis and Doug Mitchell U Sports Athletes of the Year Awards. The winners will be announced in Calgary on June 10th. Canadian Sports Minister Carla Qualtrough has announced former Ontario Chief Justice Lise Maisonneuve will lead the Future of Sports in Canada Commission. The commission will consult with sports bodies and survivors of abuse on how to improve the national sports system. It will produce 2 reports during its 18 months. Qualtrough has announced the members of the commission in this morning's press conference.
Appointed as commissioner is Justice Lise Maisonneuve, former Chief Justice of the Ontario Court of Justice. As a judge and former Chief Justice, Justice Maisonneuve has a strong background in the administration of justice and managing complex processes. She comes to this role completely independent from sport.
Celebrations in France for the Olympics. The torch will be carried by about 10,000 bearers as it passes through more than 4,500 towns until the game's opening ceremony in Paris on July 26th. That has been your sports updates to 1240. I'm Sophie Hansen, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikikane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikikane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.